Hello.
Hello. Good
Oh,
morning.
good morning, really good morning. What is behind you?
What it looks like?
What it is look like? It is like look like a heaven to me.
Well, that might be it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name?
My name is Shan.
Shan.
Exactly.
Where are you from, Shan?
I'm from India,
Which part of India?
New Delhi. I'm from New Delhi.
Do you live in New Delhi now?
Exactly.
That's quite early. Why do you study English so early?
Because your reservation is only open for this time. I see. That is why.
I see. So, where exactly do you live in New Delhi?
I live in Dwarka.
Dwarka. Ah, very good. Well, Shan, how can I help you today? What would you like to study?
What would I like to study? I would like to have a smooth conversation, free talk.
Okay,
Hmm.
sounds good. So tell me what you do in India.
Of course, I would like to introduce myself. As you know, my name is Sain, and I'm living in Dwarka, New Delhi. And I'm a student. I'm a student of English Lit and History in my first year of college. Yeah.
Where do you study?
My majors are English Lit and History.
Which university do you study in?
I study in, you can say, regional university here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So why are you studying that?
DU, Delhi University.
Ah, yes, but why are you studying English Lit in
Uh,
DU?
cause I love this language. That's it.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Do you plan to work as a teacher after you finish?
Of course, I wanna be an English professor.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what
Hmm.
kind of things do you study? Who's your favorite author?
My favorite author, you can say, have you heard about the writer of Malgudi Days.
Mm-hmm.
So that one writer I like most.
Which author was it?
Um, I forget the name of that writer, but the Malgudi Days. You can search it. The writer of Malgudi Days.
Ah, I got it. That's an Indian television series,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly, that is a Indian writer. You can say,
Who's
and
Arjun Aryan?
exactly, and he's you can say so versatile writer.
Yeah, Arjun Aryan is actually one of the, how to say, one of the most famous Indian writers.
Exactly.
He wrote a number of them. Um,
Please write the writer of the Malgudi Days, like THE.
no. His name is Arjun Aryan.
Yeah, exactly. R.K. Narayan, I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
that is a the Malgudi Days is a, you can say, novel about South India, about South culture. It is
Mm-hmm.
written by R.K. Narayan, because R.K. Narayan belonged to South India. So in that novel, he is telling intriguing like short stories of childhood, of spending time near to lake, river, like coconut tree, and these type of things, like he's telling me in that book, like experience of like childhood something.
So basically, you're from Delhi or you're from South India?
I'm from Delhi, but I like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because your accent is more similar to South, not so much Hindi.
It means, are you suspicious about my accent? I can speak Hindi also.
That's good. That's good.
But I don't know how to speak South languages. That is, you can say music to my ears. Those languages.
Oh, no, you don't say it's music to your ears. You say it's all Greek.
It's all
It's all
Greek.
Greek to me.
It's all
Yeah,
Greek
it's
to
all
me.
Greek to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you say something is music to your ears, that means it sounds very good and very acceptable and very agreeable to you.
I can use in that sense. What are you telling me? I really like how they are speaking. But the thing is that I don't understand. But I love the how they are speaking the words. I really like that in that way. That is music to my ears. I don't understand it, but that is not problem. But I like it. That sound.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I'm
That's great.
using that idiom in that way.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're in your first year.
Exactly.
So that means you have 2 years left, right?
Exactly. Oh, so is it something happening like sometime your some face is not showing or sometime is showing like your earphone also when you move.
Yeah. So what was I saying? I was going to say something. Oh, so when did you start studying English as a communicative language,
As a communicative language, you can
not an
say
academic language?
1 and 5 1 and it's been past like 1 and 5 months. I am continuously speaking,
Do
practicing.
you mean 1 year and 5 months?
Pardon me, please.
Do you mean 1 year, 5 months?
1 year, 5 months, exactly.
Ah, that's great. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me something else about yourself.
Tell me something about myself. I want you have know many things about me, but you haven't tell me about you. Please tell me about something you also. You are telling me in your
Oh, there's
introduction video you are something related to education like curriculum. Like in India also you have some type of something business or something entrepreneur you are saying.
yeah. I'm in the US actually. I live in Chicago and I've traveled a lot for my work, but I'm from the Chicago area.
Mm-hmm. So what makes
Yes.
Chicago special in whole world?
Do you mean Chicago?
What is special about Chicago?
To be very fair, I don't think anything is really special about Chicago. I'm a very global sort of person. There are many places around the world that I like. There are many places inside of America that I really like. So Chicago itself, I don't think is that extraordinary. I think there are other places that I actually prefer more. I like
Mm-hmm.
Europe a lot. The Western United States is very, very beautiful. And certain parts of Asia are very, very cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm asking about what is special about Chicago?
Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
pizza.
Pizza, really?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds scrumptious.
Yes. Chicago has amazing, amazing pizza.
You mean to say world best pizza there?
Most people like their pizza. I'm not a big fan of it. I
Mm-hmm.
like the pizza in Switzerland better.
Mm-hmm. So which favorite flavor do you have of pizza?
Sorry?
What flavor is your favorite of a pizza?
I don't know. There's many different varieties actually. We don't have flavors of pizza, we have varieties. Maybe something with a lot of vegetables like mushrooms and tomatoes. That's very, very good.
Mhm.
What do you have for pizza in India?
Um, Domino's Pizza Hut. Have you heard about?
Yes, I've heard about it.
That company may be from America, like Domino's or Pizza Hut. They are here in India also.
Yes, they are. That's true.
Mm-hmm. So,
But
please go on.
those are not those are not real pizza.
Okay, so tell me about real pizza. I'm so interested.
The cheese that they use is very inferior in
Mm-hmm.
countries like India. It's not, yeah, it's not really a pizza.
Mm-hmm. So have you
You
ever
can eat, tasted what?
like Indian pizza, like in Indian restaurant, as are you telling, you have something.
Yes.
Okay, so what is it taste for you? How do you feel at that time when you taste Indian pizza?
Mm, okay. Well, it probably would be similar to you if you go to Russia and try to eat uh, chicken curry.
Mm-hmm.
It's you would say this is not authentic.
Okay, got it. You mean to say,
Um,
like the authentic taste is not like not that much.
yeah, definitely not.
Hmm.
Not in India. There are a few places you can go to get really good pizza,
Mm-hmm.
but not because it totally depends on the quality of the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza depends on the quality of the cheese and then also the quality of the sauce. But in India, it's difficult to import the kind of cheese that's going to make a really, really good pizza.
I want to know from you,
Mm.
what is made from cheese? Like, what is come from cheese?
What do you mean exactly?
What do I mean exactly? Just suppose, like, we are getting milk from cows.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
simple. So I want to know where we get cheese.
So when they have the milk, they have to introduce something which is called a culture, and the culture is basically a bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of bacteria can be somewhat different. It results in different kinds of cheeses. They actually get the culture. The best culture comes from the stomach of a young cow. So they actually will take the stomach from a young cow, and there is a certain kind of enzyme or bacteria that is in that, and they actually use it, and they will introduce a very small. So they process the stomach. I think they boil it and then they grind it. I don't know what they do exactly to
May
that.
you please that one tell me once again. You're telling me something about stomach cow, like cow
Yes, the
stomach.
stomach of the cow.
What is that? Like tell me about something. How they do something with that?
I can't remember the exact process, but basically the stomach of the cow has an enzyme in it. An enzyme is a kind of bacteria,
Okay.
right?
So
And then they're able to use that.
Mhm.
And then what they do is they use a little part of that, not much, maybe like one small spoon or whatever, and then they put it into the milk, and it acts similar to yeast. It changes the milk. It changes the composition of the milk. Not immediately.
Okay.
Not immediately. It takes a long time. A long time.
Mhm.
Days.
So
Sometimes.
maybe around how long time?
It depends. In order to culture the milk, it could take anywhere from 2 days to probably 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Depends. And then, so there will be like pieces of cheese and the milk, all kind of together. And then what they have to do is they have to gather those cheese pieces together, and then
Mm-hmm.
they take away the milk, whatever is left, and then that is when they start to make the cheese.
Exactly.
Because then they will put it into a container or a mold. Uh, a mold means a shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they let it sit. They just let it sit there. Sit and sit
You.
and sit and sit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And depending on how long it sits and where it sits and what the temperature is and what is the container around it, that helps to create particular kinds of cheeses.
Exactly. You explain it very cool way. That's
Well,
you're
that's because I'm from Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, we produce world famous cheeses.
Wisconsin. Oh, really?
Hmm. Yeah,
That.
Wisconsin is famous. Wisconsin is called America's Dairyland because of how many cows we have.
Oh, that sounds fantabulous. Fantabulous.
It is, except when you go to India and there's no decent cheese on pizza.
I really pity on that thing.
It's really funny because I would tell people in India, this is not pizza, this is not cheese. And they never believed me until
Exactly.
they went to Switzerland
Mm-hmm.
and then they ate real pizza. And then when they came back, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is not real pizza."
I can totally respect your opinion.
It was pretty cool. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that is all about
So,
that.
so as you mentioned, it means you have traveled India. Have you ever been in India?
Yes, I have.
How many
I've
times?
been in India. I don't know. Uh, many, many times.
Many,
I
many
can't
times.
count.
Oh, really? So, what are the differences that you have seen in India comparing to Chicago?
Uh, I don't think there are two places in the world that are more different than India and America. They're totally opposite
So,
in every single way.
so in everything, like you can tell me about like culture wise, like culture according to culture or environment. So you can tell me in that way, like culture or according to environment, what is the difference?
If I would tell you that, we would be here for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in a very brief way, the difference between West and East is based on two things, primarily two things. First of all, the way that people think about themselves. In India, we think about ourselves as a member of our group, i.e., our family, our community, our religion, ethnic group. But in America, we think of ourselves as individuals, first of all. First of all.
Mm-hmm.
Then we think of ourselves in connection with our family, our community, our religion, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a very, very, very different life experience
Mm-hmm.
because it determines the kind of decisions you make, what you compromise with, what you don't, how you spend your life, how you move. So that is one of the main differences. The other main difference is how we view time.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of time is very, very different in India than it is from the West. Uh, in the West, we say time is money.
Okay.
Time is money. Whereas in India, not, uh, of course, it's changing a bit, but in India, time is not the most important factor in most decisions. There are other things that we consider when we are making a decision.
Oh,
So that leads to a lot of differences in expectations. Another thing is that Indian culture tends to be very, very focused on the present, whereas Western culture is pretty obsessed with the future. So whatever we do today, we are doing because of the future. We are doing because we are trying to get something done in the future. Whereas in India, there's practically no concept of that. Most people live for the present. It's very reactive, which is fine. Just leads to a very different way of doing things.
YOLO.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there you have it. Those are the two main differences. And there are a lot of, minor differences, but if you analyze them properly, you will find that most differences boil down to one of those two.
Exactly. So are you still in India?
No, I'm not in India right now. Nobody can get into India right now.
So where are you now?
I live in Dubai at the moment. I'm staying in Dubai.
Would you like to show me like without effect your background if it is comfortable to you?
Because you won't see Dubai. It's very early in the morning here.
Okay.
It's 4:30 a.m.
So there are some speakers around you. Am I right?
That's the azan.
Azan. So do you like to listen that one?
I don't know. It doesn't matter if I like it or don't like it. It's part of life in Dubai.
So I want to know from you. Please tell me what do you think about those speakers? Like that speaker is you can say are like good thing for people. Like we have to pray in loudspeakers, like very very loud volume, or we just have to be like keep our like a prayer to ourselves. Like sometime you can understand. So what do you like? What if you have to say something about those loudspeaker prayer? What would you say?
First of all, are you Muslim or are you Hindu?
You can say I'm not as a Hindu, I'm not as a Muslim, I'm a completely human being.
Okay. That works.
I not see as life as a perspective of a Hindu and not as a perspective of Muslim. I see life what is actually right according to humankind, not in according to panorama of Hindu or Muslim or any religion. I just see life as a human being. That is enough for me to as a human.
I think that's a very complex question because what happens is we're kind of asking ourselves with that question of whose whose convenience or whose comfort matters the most. When we talk about freedom of expression in religion, I think that is an important thing. Now, naturally, it means that when I express my faith, another person might be uncomfortable, and vice versa. If they express their faith, I might be uncomfortable too. But that is not that's not something we should try to take away. So I guess living in Dubai, for example, it's a Muslim majority country. I don't mind hearing the azan.
Of course.
It's a bit it's a bit inconvenient sometimes for my teaching, but that does not mean that I'm like, oh, these crazy people, what are they doing? No.
You are meant to say
like that. I am the one that chose to live here, right? I'm the one that chose to live here, so it means that I need to be flexible and adaptable.
Yeah, you get used to it now.
So that's, I mean, being able to compromise is, what makes the world go round, right?
Yeah, you are such a good egg. You are such a good egg.
Well, I try to be.
You
But
are. You are really. To put
I
my
think it's
cards on the
important.
table, to put my cards on the table, I really, and this session is full of like enthrall, like I really enjoyed. Where you can say your openness, like your open mind, you are not rigid, like you are completely being honest as a person. I really like that thing. I really admire.
Well, you have to remember one thing. People become closed-minded when they are afraid. And we are afraid when we know that what we have is not good enough. And we're trying to hang on to it.
May you please repeat it once again? I didn't get it, but that is deeper, I think.
People become afraid. People become closed when they are afraid.
May you please write it down if it is possible to you?
Wait a second.
Of course.
26. People become closed when they are afraid, and they become afraid when they believe that what they have isn't good enough. And nobody will ever say this to you. Nobody will ever admit this, but it is the truth. If what I have is true, it means it is sufficient. It is enough for me, and it is enough for you too. I'm not going to be afraid of whatever you have that might be different. I'll be content. I'll be happy. But when you don't have something that is working for you, then that is when people start to become very close-minded and fearful.
Exactly. When they fear, you mean to say they become not open.
Yes.
When they fear.
Yes.
Oh,
Of course.
that is so simple. That is like open book.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I have to run for another class. Sean, it was nice to talk to you.
Of course, and I really, from the deep of my heart, I can say you are a best tutor. I really enjoy, and I hope to see you soon.
Sounds good, Sean. See you next time. Have a great week.
You made my day. You are a high-spirited, upbeat person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye. Enjoy your day.